Hello and welcome. I am Katrina Pratt Roebuck, and I am the founder and CEO of Uplifme. Uplifme is a national resource hub of social service events happening across the country that addresses social determinants of health. And we also highlight the great work of community-based organizations. So today I have with me Justin Ennis, who is the executive director for Philadelphia Outward Bound School. So Justin, welcome and thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Katrina. It's great to see you again.
Likewise. So tell us about Philadelphia Outward Bound School and what your organization does.
I would love to. So Philadelphia Outward Bound School is one of 10 Outward Bound schools in the US. And
Okay.
we've been around for about 30 years in Philadelphia with a mission to change lives through challenge and discovery. And a lot of people know Outward Bound as the organization that takes kids into the woods, is how we sometimes are known. But really, our work is about building school and community partnerships where we're creating access to outdoor experiences that support character and leadership development, and
Okay.
working really closely with schools in Philadelphia to make sure that these programs are an essential part of student experience and school culture.
Okay. So can you talk a little bit about what that looks like? What are some of the experiences that you guys provide for youth?
I'd love to. So we have two primary types of programming. The first one is what we call Insight Days. You're going to hear my dog in the background, excuse me. Insight Days are day programs that we do that are a full day, a full school day, where we are running students from beginning with a bunch of ground initiatives, get to know you, team building activities. And slowly what we're doing is pushing them to more challenging experiences. The
Hmm.
whole framework for Outward Bound is to get students out of their comfort zone, but in a learning zone where they are challenging, trying new experiences and testing what they think are their limits, whether they're limits in terms of physical ability, kind of overcoming fears, but really learning to rely on their peers and their inner strength to reach new heights. So we do Insight Days. Again, we might do that at our headquarters at the Discovery Center, which we've been there for 5 years, is a beautiful location in East Fairmount Park, or
Okay.
at our original location in the Wissahickon. The other format of programming that we have is called an expedition, and it's usually a 5 to 14-day expedition in the Pennsylvania, New Jersey wilderness. And this is where students are going on maybe canoeing down the Delaware Water Gap, or they're backpacking on the Appalachian Trail, and they're going through facilitated experiences that, again, are helping them come together as a crew, learning how to rely on their ability and also their classmates' abilities to help accomplish really interesting and challenging, overcoming interesting and challenging obstacles.
So that's amazing. I had no idea that this existed.
Yeah.
And I love nature. I replenish in nature. So I really appreciate what you're doing and helping the children be exposed to. Can you talk a little bit about the outcomes of this work that you're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, really, I think part of sometimes we have to demystify what we do because people think, okay, you have kids climbing, rock climbing or climbing some peak. It really is about social and emotional development. It's
Mm.
about fostering a sense of connection of kids that are going through these experiences together. And often our programming, particularly in our school partners, is help them to kind of catalyze and accelerate the sense of connection between peers by putting them in these new environments where they have to rely on each other, much like transitioning into high school, for example.
Yeah.
But we do it through the lens of outdoor education and experiential learning, right? So they're doing hands-on activities where they are developing things like self-efficacy, the belief in their own ability, their ability to overcome challenges, their ability to problem solve, and their ability to work as a team. But really, this idea of relying on a team is driving the most important outcome that we can support, which is that sense of belonging for students.
Mm.
And we're doing it in a setting that doesn't necessarily have the limitations, the baggage, the associations that a traditional classroom might have for some of our students.
Mm.
And we're doing it in a place where they can kind of appreciate nature. It can have a restorative element, but it's also away from the distractions and trappings of modern life. So they don't have their cell phones. They're not in front of screens, and they're there to just kind of rely on each other, take their skills and what their classmates have to offer, and accomplish something together.
Okay, so can you talk a little bit, so thank you for explaining that. Can you talk a little bit about how you work with schools, and what if Philadelphia Outward Bound is a school or if it's
Yeah.
a partner to schools?
Yeah, and this is a really important distinction where
Yeah.
the history of outward bound schools in the US, they were established as what we call wilderness schools, where that means
Hmm.
families are sending their kids from all over the country to go on a 14-day expedition in Colorado in the Rockies, or they're going
Mhm.
dog sledding in Minnesota, or they're doing sailing in the Florida Keys. The Philadelphia Outward Bound School was established with the deliberate purpose of creating opportunities for Philadelphia students from Philadelphia public schools to have an outward bound experience, whether
Okay.
that was through a urban expedition, that would be an expedition within Philadelphia, or going on these 5-day backpacking and canoeing expeditions. But the way that we partner with schools is, so we basically want to say, if a school has a need to, they want to support character and leadership development of their students, or they want to maybe have rites of passage experience for students as they start or maybe graduate 8th grade or go into high school. This is a really common pathway that they come to the Philadelphia Outward Bound School to help facilitate these really enriching, unique, challenging experiences that they really can't get anywhere else in the city.
Mhm.
And so we serve about 7,000 students a year through about 100 school and community partnerships. What's also important, so these experiences are really valuable for teachers and also for administrative leads within the district.
Okay.
So we do a lot of educator expeditions or educator team building days where they are learning the Outward Bound educational framework, but they're also investing in their own ability to overcome challenges and to come together as a team, which is so important for the heavy lifting they have to do during the school year.
So that's very helpful to know that it is for both youth and for teachers. Can you talk about a student or a teacher who might want to have this experience? How could they engage with you all to have these experiences?
Yeah, so they should go to outwardboundphiladelphia.org and
Okay.
they can submit an inquiry for how to get involved. And it'll ask, what kind of program are you looking for? Are you looking for an insight day? Again, that's the day program that would take place at the Discovery Center, where we have the high ropes course and we have canoeing on the reservoir
Mm.
that we kind of mix into our facilitated experience. Or if you're interested in something like a multi-day expedition in the Delaware Water Gap. Um, and then you indicate the age groups. We serve primarily middle through high school. So I would say
Okay.
7th through 12th grade is a real sweet spot for us. But
Okay.
we also work with, we have a number of higher education partnerships, Community College, Williamson College, Penn, Drexel. So we also serve that kind of young adult band. But let us know what age group you're looking to work with. What are the goals you're trying to accomplish? Are you trying to work on proactive communication with your group? Or are you trying to work on conflict resolution? That intake experience really helps us design and customize a program that speaks to the goals and priorities of that school partner. And we really don't want this to be a one-off experience, right? It's not a field trip. We want to be a strategic and thoughtful partner to the schools that we work with. We want to do a progression model where maybe your 7th grade class gets this experience and it builds up to a multi-day expedition in 8th grade. And that's something that's been really promising since we moved to the Discovery Center, where we're able to engage a lot of our neighboring schools from Strawberry Mansion, where they can just walk over to our facility. But the more that we get to know the school culture, the more that we can plug in and really maximize our impact on that student experience. And that's how we really want to show up as a partner to the district.
So that's really helpful to know. And I think that you mentioned having a customized experience. I really appreciated hearing that. So can you talk just for a minute, if you will, about perhaps something you have customized for a school or for a group, what that looked like and the outcome of that?
Yeah, I'll tell you one of I, for me, I kind of stands out as one of the most powerful experiences that Outward Bound has facilitated. And this is actually going before my time. This is going back to around maybe 2013,
Mhm.
where the school district of Philadelphia was kind of faced with a very difficult decision to close about 24 schools
Mm.
because of they were cash strapped. Schools were under enrolled. So they had to close a number of schools, but they also had to solve for this problem of relocating that school population into what they called a receiving school. So now you have two populations of students that have to come together very quickly.
Mm.
And some of the schools that were school communities that were coming together, there were significant differences in the demographics, or there were tensions that could have been racial tensions, could have been territorial tensions. And so the school district reached out to Outward Bound to facilitate experiences that helped leaders from both school populations come together as one crew. And they
Mhm.
do that by putting them in experiences where everybody is out of their comfort zone. There is no hierarchy anymore. You have to rely on one another, right? And that is the kind of transferable experience that is, I think, most powerful about Outward Bound, is that we are always, in any walk in our life, we're going to be encountering new challenges. We're going to have to work with new people. We're going to be in positions where we don't know everything. We are not the leader, right? And we have to be able to kind of be humble and work together as a team to achieve this goal. And that was something we did with great success with schools like South Philly High School, also bringing together Germantown High School and Martin Luther King High School. And I think what I like about that example, that it's not about the image of getting kids into the woods, which is a powerful and can be a transformational experience. It's about building bridges among peer groups. And what are the experiences that we can offer students in Philadelphia so that they realize they are capable, but they are more capable together. And that's something that I really value about this work.
Yeah, I think that it's very innovative to implement this and to help to grow students from the socio-emotional perspective, but also just from working together. I think that a lot of what we see in the city in terms of challenges and across the country is because people don't and aren't willing always to work together. So I
Yeah.
appreciate sort of the foundation of what you all are trying to set for youth and for teachers to be supported. Is there something that perhaps the public who might know Philadelphia Outward Bound, know of your organization, but might not know that you'd like to highlight?
Yeah. So I would say if anybody has not been out to our new location, the Discovery Center,
Okay.
which is at 3401 Reservoir Drive in East Fairmount Park, it's open to the public 6 days a week. Just encourage you to come out. You'll get a taste of what we are trying to introduce our students to. We also do a lot of public programming at the Discovery Center. It's a facility that we share with the Audubon. So there's a lot for you to experience. And I think, we have this dual responsibility as an Outward Bound school, but also as a public space to facilitate
Mhm.
meaningful experiences.
Mhm.
So I think a good place to start is to check out the Discovery Center. You can see some of our programs in action, and there's a good chance that'll happen if you're coming out during the school year. Um, but then we still need help spreading the word about Outward Bound. There's
Mhm.
folks that still don't know that there is an Outward Bound school in Philadelphia because they may have grown up in a time where you had to go to North Carolina for an Outward Bound experience. But we have a really rich and proud history here in Philadelphia. One of our founders was Mayor Nutter, which I know you've had experience with Mayor Nutter. And he could tell you all about his Outward Bound experiences, were also pretty amazing. Um, but it started with the vision to make sure that these programs were a constant source of enrichment for students in Philadelphia. But it is a model that requires a lot of people to participate to make it work. And it relies on educators who are really passionate about providing these types of experiences. So if you know a teacher who's looking for something to introduce into their school experience, please share the word. And then we always love and welcome volunteers for any number of things that we're doing out at the Discovery Center. So the best way, again, to find us is to go to outwardboundphiladelphia.org. You can look for us on Facebook or Instagram, Outward PHL.
Okay, great, great. Can you talk also about perhaps something that you're looking forward to accomplishing in this coming year?
Yeah, there's a lot that we're looking forward to accomplish. So I'll say one thing that I'm just really excited. Heading into the school year, we do a number of team building staff retreats for school faculty.
Okay.
I'm the son of a Philadelphia public school teacher. I've worked my entire life in the nonprofit space, really in partnership with classroom teachers. So I am really excited about creating space where teachers can come together, take a deep breath before the school year, get to know their new
Mhm.
colleagues, and then begin to work on these team building experiences and activities that are full of humor, but they're also full of challenge by choice. So they can, if they
Mhm.
want to be 40 feet above ground working on a ropes course together, they can. If they want to be solving some problem out on the reservoir in their canoes, they can. If they want to be doing ground activities to solve problems. So really, we want to make sure that this experience is flexible and versatile to help teachers hit the ground running when they start the school year. And we know this is a heavy lift every year, but we really want to show up for our teachers. And we're devoting an entire week to bring in different schools, public and public charter, to really set them on the right path through these staff retreats.
Okay, thank you. And I was actually going to ask if your services are open to charter schools. So thank you for
Sure.
already saying that. That's, I think, really helpful to know that you guys serve the whole school district in the charter schools.
Yeah.
So just you mentioned volunteers. Wanted to just ask, how can people volunteer? How can they donate to your organization?
Yes. So the best way for all of those things is go to outwardboundphiladelphia.org.
Okay.
And there'll be a button for donate today. The
Okay.
donations go really to help subsidize the programming we do in public and public charter schools first and foremost. It also goes to offer subsidies for community and youth serving organizations in Philadelphia so that they can also experience these programs in the summer months and really year round.
Okay.
So every donation is very helpful. There's also information there. You can just do info@pobs.org. That's info@pobs.org. That is how you can inquire about volunteering or any other question you have about how we can get involved in your community, in your school. There is a lot of demand for our work. The calendar is really challenging. So I always encourage people to get to us early and often so that we can plan several months in advance because really there's a lot of get to know you at time that we want to build into the process so that the experience is as impactful as possible.
Well, thank you. That is, I did not know a lot about Philadelphia Upward Bound prior to talking to you today. The Discovery Center is a beautiful facility. Really just happy to hear how folks can get engaged and how to have these unique experiences. So thank you so much for Justin for sharing this time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Katrina. Can I do one more plug? Is that possible?
Please.
You jogged my memory
Okay.
when I thought it when we got to Mayor Nutter, other ways you can get involved. There's one big opportunity every other year, and I'm going to tell you a full year in advance.
Okay.
It's something called Building a Venture. It's become a bit of a calling card for us, and it's
Hmm.
our biggest fundraiser, and it's when we are rappelling down to Commerce Square in Center City. So if you ever say, what are those people doing climbing down that very tall building?
Oh
Well,
my
what
goodness.
they're doing is raising money for the Philadelphia Urban School. And we get people from all walks of life, teachers, our student alums, lawyers that are, see us through their office buildings that they want to get involved. It's a great way, a very fun day if you are adventurous or you think you want to be adventurous to get your friends involved. And it raises money for a great cause. So um, I would say building a venture, be on the lookout for that. If you
Okay.
are at all sounds like something you want to get involved, email us at info@pobs.org and we will send you the material so you can reserve your spot for October 2025.
Oh my goodness. Well,
And
that
Katrina, I
sounds
can count
amazing.
on you doing that, right?
Yes,
You're
you
you're
can.
signed up today?
I will
Okay.
sign up today.
All right, great.
All right, Justin, thank you so much. It's been really
Thank
fun
you.
getting to know more about your work. Thank you for
Yeah,
being here.
it's been a pleasure. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.